Hey guys, my name's Nick. I'm a co-founder at Dial Technologies, and today I'm going to be showing you all things email inside Attio. Let's get started. So in our Attio workspace, this is the settings panel. You're going to want to come into the email and calendar accounts here. You can see I already have my email connected. So there's a couple things to point out here. When you have an email connected, depending on your level of account in Attio, you can select multiple email accounts. So that could be an option. You can come in here and reconnect or edit this. And when you edit this, it's going to allow you a couple of different options. So you can show only metadata, which is basically going to be the participant and the timestamp as it says here. And so this is going to allow for enrichment properties to work, which we're going to talk about later, but that's things like next calendar interaction or first calendar interaction or first email. Subject line or metadata, which is typically what people do. And then obviously full access if you have a small team or you're solo or you have a co-founder or something like that. Full access is what you want. And then you can also click here and share access and select here, put the users of the people that you want to share full access to. If it's only specific people, maybe that's chief of staff, co-founder, so on and so forth. And then the rest of the team will have whatever your default sharing is here. The second tab here is the block list. And so this allows you to add domains. Maybe it's like a MailChimp domain or a Substack domain, something like that you're getting emails from, and it's essentially cluttering your CRM. Something to keep in mind is that this is on the per email and per account level. So if you do have a MailChimp or Substack or some kind of email like that everyone on the team is receiving, you would want everyone to add that here to the block list. You can click on add block list here and then put the domain or the email that you want to block and then hit confirm. And then the last thing in here is the signature. So I just have my default signature in here, which is going to be added to emails. If you didn't know, you can actually send emails directly from Attio, which we'll also get into later. In terms of connecting a new account, you click on either connect to Google or connect to Microsoft here. This is going to redirect you to the Google OAuth login, and you're going to go through that wizard and log in with your Google account that you want to connect, accept the services, and continue forward. And then the last item here is the forwarding address. So if you are not connecting your email or you have multiple email addresses and you want to just forward some specific emails into Attio, you can actually use this email that's here. And so that will be based off of your workspace slug@attio.email. And you also have a watermark here, so you can turn this on or off if you want to show sent with Attio for emails that you send out of Attio. So how does this actually work? We'll get into that. So this is a record of a person that is in my Attio workspace. And what I want to actually do is look at the emails that I've had with them. So this is a test email that I have with this person, John Doe. And I can actually go in here to manage access, and I can change who I want to have access to this specific person's emails. So here I could say access and then select a user. You can also click filters here and filter only emails that have attachments. And so that's kind of what this emails habit here is for. And this tab is going to be on the person as well as the company. So if I click here on Nick Janes, which is the company, I can click on emails, and you'll see here there's multiple emails here because there's multiple people, Jane and John Doe, here on the team. And these are the emails that I've sent or received from them. And to take this a step further, we can see here's an associated deal. So you can actually also see emails on the deal. And so this is showing all of the emails here. And if you want to modify which emails show up here, because on this deal or another custom object, you can have relationships to people or companies, other custom objects, so on and so forth. You can actually click on these three dots up here, click on configure page, and then click on the three dots to the right of emails and click edit tab. And this will allow you to select different attributes that effectively have an email address. So maybe who referred or the people and company. Just be mindful that if you do like who was referred, this is not going to just bring in the single referral email. This will bring in all of their emails. So that might be something that you don't want to do. Click save changes here, and then click save changes down here. And then you can exit out of this or go back, and this emails tab here should then update. Going back to the people to show you how you can actually send emails, where you see this email address, you can click on the copy icon here, and that's going to copy the email. You can actually click directly on the email address, and that's going to allow you to compose an email. So this is the email composer, and you can actually put the subject in here, CC, BCC, just like a normal email. It's going to pre-populate who it's from, which you can change if you have delegated email access, and then who you're sending it to. You can attach files to the email. You can change your signature, and you can also turn the current text or composition of the email into a template. If you want to apply a template, you can click pick a template here and then select the template. Something that's really cool is if you were typing an email and let's say you wanted to say, hey, first name, and you wanted this to essentially be a variable for this person, because let's say this is a template, you can select down here, add variable, or you can do the left squiggly bracket, and then you can select in here whatever variable this is. So in this case, it's actually going to be name and then first name. So you can say, hey, first name. This is going to obviously populate with John because that's who we're sending this to. Variables can be super useful for this. Another key thing with variables is if you enable this mass sending here, you can add recipients. So let's say I wanted to also send this to Jane Doe. So I can actually add Jane Doe here, and then you'll see that this changes in the two, sending to two different people. And then it will say, hey, John or hey, Jane, depending on who it's sending the email to. Another key thing to know here is the delivery time will depend on how many people you're sending emails to. You can click view outbox here. The reason that this is delaying the emails is because you don't want to send all of these emails at one time, because that's going to end all of your emails being in spam and you're going to get reported, and that is not great for email deliverability. So you want to make sure that they're spaced out. So you can click review emails here, and then you can kind of scroll through one by one. This is what the email will look like. So you can see it's populated John. If I click here, it's populated Jane. It's sending to two different email addresses here. Then I can click send emails, and then it would go to my outbox and see them. I'm not going to do that, but that's how you can do that. And you can also bulk select people like this, and then click send email, and it will basically pre-configure that for you. So you can see you've got the two people selected here. It's already got mass sending turned on, and then you can compose your email here. And then the two last things that I wanted to show in terms of emails are, these are some of the attributes that are enriched based off of this data. So you can see here I have next calendar date, I have first email date, and then I have connection strength. And this is based off of how many times I've had emails with them, when the last time I had emails with them, what was the first time I had emails, what is the next calendar interaction I have scheduled with them. So there's lots of cool things you can do. For example, the next calendar event here is essentially empty. So let's say that you wanted to move this person from one status to the next when a meeting is booked. You could actually look at this specific attribute, and if this attribute is modified to a date in the future, you could actually move them from, call pending to call booked, for example, in terms of a status pipeline. And then the last thing that I want to show here is you can do this from a lot of different places, but in this case, I'm just going to click Ask Attio here, and I'm just going to say, please prep a draft email to John Doe about booking a discovery with this link. So even if you don't want to have your email synced or records created, you can still associate your Google or Microsoft email with Attio, turn those settings off, and then still be able to draft these emails using Ask Attio or clicking on email addresses. So now I can actually click here on this email, and it's created this draft for me. It's created the subject line. It's added this to and from here. I can go ahead and send this email now. And then one last thing actually that I wanted to show is in the workspace settings. I showed you this edit here, so these settings, but there's actually one other place where you can modify the email settings, and that's in email and calendar here. And this is quite important actually. For record creation, if you don't want to create records from emails, you can select none here, and then you can also turn this toggle off. And so what this toggle is doing is basically if someone sends you an email, nick@example.com, it's going to create a company example.com with that domain. So you can turn this off if you don't want those companies to be created. And then you can also select, do you want all contacts, selective contacts, or no contacts to be created automatically as well. And so this is, a way that you can turn this off to create these records automatically, but then still sync your email to be able to get emails coming in and get the ability to send emails directly from Attio as well. And then one last feature here, which is only an enterprise feature, is you can actually protect emails. So if you don't want emails from specific people, maybe this is the CEO, or, for whatever reason you have a personal email or something coming from someone that you don't want to get pushed into Attio, into your work email, you can actually, if you're on the enterprise plan, add that here and add those recipients for the protected recipients as well. Hey guys, thanks for joining the video today. I hope that this was informative. We're going to be continuing to drop videos like this covering different Attio features. If you have a recommendation or something you want to see, feel free to drop that in the comments below or reach out to us directly. Cheers.